Welcome to the 21st round of WTSS Season 7. We're at the Bristol Motor Speedway in Tennessee at the last great Coliseum. The fastest half-mile racetrack in the world is right here in front of your very eyes. The final short track race of WTSS Season 7 and the first race of the final 10 stretch to the end of the season. Straight out onto the racetrack immediately is Chris Louviere in the 83, a driver that absolutely earned a great result last race in Darlington and threw himself into championship contention as we enter the final third of this season. Lap times are going to come quick here, and it is going to be incredibly difficult to get a good lap in if you've got a car right up in front of your bumper. Kyle Bisceglia in the 27 setting the early pace, but Louviere immediately takes the top spot back. You're going to see the times fall very quickly throughout this session. 10 minutes to figure out who wins pole at the fastest short track in the country. Last race in Darlington, we witnessed a victory from the rookie Roberto Crown Jr. for Fingai Saitomi. But the most important part was Louviere's big point game on point leader Ryan Reed. Reed ended up in the 21st position, probably the most quiet night of his entire season so far. And even then, it was still not a half bad result, even considering. But now with 27 points coming into this race, 5 drivers within a race of each other, and now with just 10 races to go, anything can happen as this season progresses into the later stages of the year. Louviere still quickest at the moment. Might be a side effect of the fact that he was out there early on with no traffic. But as this track rubbers in, people will start to find times just like that one, as Eugene DeMax in the 4 car, the Season 3 champion, goes quickest with a 15.426. And so early on, as DeMax goes even quicker on the next time around with a 377. Jeff McLennan to the top of the board in the 87. Makes that a Maverick 1-3 right now, and it's the 2 title contender teammates of the Maverick lineup. It's the 2 highest in the points drivers that have put themselves up first and third. And so McLennan, as Daniel Giroux jumps up to second quickest, but he's still half a tenth behind the 87, who put down an absolutely monstrous lap. Logan Hill has improved up the order. Patrick Smith goes third quickest. Chris Dodd goes up into the top 5. There's Allison Figueroa in 7th. And suddenly, in just a matter of less than a minute, Chris Louviere's best lap is now only 10th quickest, as Yuki Tamura jumps up into the top 5. Another one of your title contenders there. Alex Constantine, there he is, the short track ace of the rookie lineup, up into the second position with a 15.339, the closest anybody's gotten to Jeff McLennan. Top of the board, Scott Roush and Kyle Bisceglia. If you wanted to know a quintessential short track front row in the WTSS, that is it right there. Roush and Bisceglia. Both drivers who have had a majority of their successes in this league on short tracks have found themselves at the front as we are approaching halfway through this session. Tamura jumps up to 4th quickest, up the order a bit more. And how quickly the times fall. Alex Constantine is now 10th quickest. Figueroa jumps up to 3rd. As Bisceglia improves, but not his position, he stays 2nd. As Ryan Reed, the championship leader, takes a huge stab at the point lead with a huge lap to go a 1/10 of a second quicker than anybody else has been able to muster. And the 90 car, with currently an unrivalable lap in this session, to the top of the board now. Roush Racing Enterprise on short tracks. Surprise, surprise. First, second, fourth, fifth. And the one oddball being Stavina, he's back in 21st. But 4 of the 5 inside of the top 5. Bisceglia being the only one in that top 5 not a part of the fold. And Bisceglia himself is a short track master of the series. This would be hugely important for Ryan Reed's championship goals if in the last race of his preferred track type, he's able to just put it on pole, get the bonus points for the pole, and give himself the best possible position to go after another race victory on the season. Less than 4 minutes remaining now. And don't count out anybody else from tumbling the times down. At the back of the field, there's a couple surprises. Most notably, Shrimp Engritz, the man 7th in points coming into tonight, cannot find a time to save his life. Sean Angel only finds himself in 22nd. He's 2nd in points coming into tonight. Mitchell Mark is 5th in points. He's back in 27th in this session. Louviere has managed to jump back up to 16th, but he's still not in the picture out front. As Stavinock goes up to 6th, the 5 Roush Racing Enterprise cars briefly were in the top 6 as Finguy jumps up and puts the 80 back down a bit. But the 5 Roush Racing Enterprise campus cars are 1st, 2nd, 5th, 6th, and 8th as Bobby Frazier goes up to 3rd quickest in the 96. Frazier, rumor has it, is going to be shuttering his own team and going to join an existing team on the grid for Season 8. An announcement will follow shortly, I've been told, but we'll have to see how long shortly is. Mitchell Mark, big lap, 5th quickest in the 28. And another championship contender finally puts himself up at the front to at least give Ryan Reed a run for his money. 2 minutes left in the session. Again, all 5 RRE campus cars in the top 10. That is just mighty impressive how they do this on every short track, it feels like. Sean Angel still cannot find a time. He's 24th. Engritz has at least jumped up to 22nd now. And Louviere has not found any more improvements. He's 19th quickest at the moment. If Ryan Reed can put this thing on pole, it's going to be absolutely incredibly important for his championship aspirations in this season. He came into the season with the ambitions to win on the short tracks, and he has absolutely done that. One of the best average finishes of any driver on any track type. And in the 10th and final short track of the season, if he can start on pole with those extra 3 bonus points for pole position, he puts himself in a real good position to try and just sweep the whole weekend. Get the maximum points possible. Half a minute to go before we enter standby, in which every driver in the field, once standby begins, you get a chance to finish the lap you're already on, and that's it. And with lap times being so fast around here, it's going to come to you so quickly. And around these high banks of this half-mile track, standby begins now. Does Does anybody find something in these last dying seconds? I don't see any movement on the timing screens. And thus, there is no more movement on the timing screens. Ryan Reed, the championship leader, puts it on the pole in Bristol in what could be the most important pole of his entire career in WTSS. In the rest of the top 10, it's Scott Roush, Bobby Frazier, Kyle Bisceglia, and Mitchell Mark, the top 5. Allison Figueroa, Yuki Tamura, Jeffrey Finguy, Jake Stavanaugh, and Logan Hill, the top 10. Engritz, Nugroho, Wilhoit, McLennan, and Vita Bassa, your top 15. The rest of the qualifying order is as follows. Another disappointing qualifying for some of the guys like Krasta and Curtis down there. Surprisingly bad for Alex Bignacco, Sebastian Van Dalen, and championship contenders Sean Angel in 24th, Chris Louviere in 20th. Just did not work out the way they wanted it to. But with Ryan Reed on pole position, it's going to be very difficult for anybody to make inroads on this championship. But anyways, 200 laps awaits us here at Bristol. Congratulations to Ryan Reed on winning the pole. Let's get to the race.